All right. Hi. My name is Jonathan Hollingsworth. This is my testimonial that I'm about to give to you guys. This is actually tape 3, and hopefully I can do it right this time. So, if you haven't seen the Jesus Week flyer, this is it. Very nicely put together. This is me right there. And basically I'm holding somebody's hand while trying to talk to other girls. So that's pretty much along the lines of what my testimony is going to be about. And hopefully it's able to bless anybody who's actually listening to this. Well, definitely have to start with my childhood and the dynamics of the way I was raised. I had a relatively good childhood in terms of my parents being there, playing a really influential role in my life. By teaching me right from wrong and everything like that. I always say to myself that I couldn't ask for a better childhood, but there was one thing that actually affected me, but it didn't. But I didn't realize that it affected me until I got older. But my parents were married, but they separated practically when I was born. So I did not actually have a father figure in the house, although I did have a father figure because my dad is definitely tremendously supportive of me and is always there and giving me wisdom when he can and everything like that. And so was my mom. My mom is a phenomenal woman of God, and she's pretty much the reason why I even grew up in church or even went to church. But going into where the problem actually started was in school. It was about middle school or around that age where I pretty much wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part. I wanted people to know my name. I really wanted to be a man. I wanted to be a cool kid. And so it all happened when everybody, like especially all the fellas and everybody like that, we were in the locker room or we were at the lunch table, and we would gather around and talk about different females and what they were like, and just laugh and joke about it. And to me, I was pretty much always the outcast, or I was the oddball within that group that had nothing to say. I had no stories about any females. I didn't have any notches on my belt to say per se. So right there, that just gave me a struggle because I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I wasn't accepted by men or people who were like me. I needed male approval or whatever, and that's pretty much one effect of my dad not actually being in the house to the point where I would be able to walk in and I can see what a man does on a daily without asking questions or anything like that. Just be able to just walk into that environment and just take just like observe, like just being observative and taking notes and whatnot. So I guess that's sort of a daddy issue that kind of attributed to my problem here. So what I did was, while I was molding my definition of a man, I associated it with females. So to me, a man is the one who gets the most females, and that was pretty much it. So going back to school and really wanting to feel a part of this these conversations and trying to get male approval, I decided to make it my business, or try my best to actually get all the women I can, and just do what I have to do, so that when we do gather around, me and the fellas at the lunch table or in the locker room or whatever, I would be out there. People would actually pay attention to my story. They would actually think I'm cool. They would actually be like, "Yo, Jay's the man." You know, that's him right there. That's that dude. I wanted that. I wanted that feeling. So as time went on and it progressed, it just got worse, and it got worse in terms of just really taking it overboard. It's kind of it was like a lust. It was just, I was never satisfied with just one. I was never satisfied with just two. I was never satisfied with just three or four. Like it was almost like an addiction. Like, oh, I see her. Oh, she's cool. Oh, but her too. Dang, she's cool too. Her, oh, she's got to be the one. And it was just perpetual. It was perpetual, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop, man. Especially when you get older, you know what I mean. The women get more beautiful, to be honest with you. And so that was my issue. Now what backfired on me is because of my heart and my compassion for people, and because I have a family with predominantly women. I have witnessed dudes hurt my mom. I have witnessed dudes hurt my sister. Not really physically, but emotionally, mentally. And when I think about that, especially when I think about it in hindsight or in retrospect, I was that dude. Actually, I was that dude hurting females. I was that dude scarring them for life, emotionally damaging, and having insecurity issues, not feeling good enough. And that hurts, right? And it's like when you have females like crying in front of you, really pouring their heart out to you and telling you what you did to them, in tears and snotty nose and everything like that. If you even have a heart, you would definitely feel like crap. And that's pretty much what happened to me. But it didn't just happen once. I felt crappy, and then I got over it, and then I just kept continuing what I was doing. Then it happened again, and I felt like crap, but then I kept doing it again, and so on and so forth. And I just never got the picture until it was one day where I was coming from Hope's house. I was driving down Devonshire, and I was listening to music. It wasn't even gospel music. It was some secular music. It was like Drake or Lil Wayne or something. I don't know. It was Kendrick Lamar or something like that. But God just dropped down in my spirit and just started talking to me. And he asked me, and I remember this so vividly. He asked me if I would sleep with my homeboy's girlfriend, And I said, no, I would never sleep with my homeboy's girlfriend, because, that's just against the rules. You know what I mean? It's not written, but it's just against the rules. Every man knows that. And then he said, okay. And then he asked me another question, and he said, would you sleep with anybody's wife? And I said, no, because that's just really immoral. Marriage is sacred. I would never, sleep with anybody's wife. That's crazy. And then after I answered that question, then he turned around and he said, well, if you wouldn't sleep with your homeboy's girlfriend, and if you wouldn't sleep with anybody's wife, I don't understand why you're sleeping with mine. And this is God talking. I felt horrible. I felt like I just wanted to just get in a car crash right then. Because if you can even imagine what I just went through, and then calling myself a man of God and calling myself a Christian, and proclaiming that I love Jesus, and with all my heart I love Jesus, but yet I'm sleeping with his brides, and it's just a really contradicting life, that I just decided that I couldn't live anymore, or I would definitely make an effort every day to do my best to not live this contradiction of a life, to not damage any more ladies or any more virtuous women of God with purpose and ambition and goals. I would try my very best not to hurt that or damage them anymore in any way. Because if you have a mom, if you have a sister, if you have a aunt, you want them to reach their fullest potential. And honestly, women are, the sensitivity is just like heightened. It's heightened. So men can really stunt their growth as an individual, can really stunt their growth spiritually in the church. They can really stunt their growth in all kinds of aspects. And I can only imagine what some of the females that I've messed with in the past are still going through to this day as I'm making this video. It hurts. Like, I mean, it really does hurt, and it's heartbreaking. So I'm not saying that I conquered it all. I will say that I'm definitely making progress, a tremendous amount of progress, in terms of just, being cognizant of everything that I'm doing, being cognizant of when I'm calling, who I'm calling, what I'm calling about, what I'm texting about, when I'm texting. It has to become a lifestyle of change. And so that's pretty much my testimony there. That's pretty much my testimony. I went from that, and now I kind of have to take advantage of, having a predominantly female crowd of friends, and now I can be that dude that can give him advice, that male that can, like, I don't want to say validate, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep that advice, because I don't want to put myself in a position that I can't uphold. Sorry, but it's a fight every day. It's a fight every day. It's hard, but I don't regret anything, because it makes me the person that I am today. And without that story, I wouldn't be able to tell it to you guys or anybody that I may run into in the future. Because I know I'm not the only one, and if I got through it, I know that other people can, and that brings a smile to everybody's face. So yeah, I mean, that's my testimony. That's the end, and I hope you guys received it, and I hope it helped somebody. And remember, Jesus Week, March 25th through the 31st. Come through, support, participate, bring a friend. Alright, and I'm still gonna do this right here. Did it in my last video, I'm gonna do it on this one. Alright, thank you for listening.